In October 2017, something entered our solar system. Not a comet, not an asteroid. It was moving too fast, shaped too strangely, and then it vanished. Scientists called it Oumuamua, a name that means scout or messenger, but no one could figure out what it was. No tail, no gas, no explanation. It spun like a thrown stick, accelerated without force, and it came from outside our solar system. Some said it was natural, others said it was artificial, maybe even alien. This is the story of the most mysterious object ever seen in space. Welcome to Mystery Shack, where the strangest stories in science, space, and psychology live in the shadows. Are you ready? Let's begin the descent. Astronomers using the Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii spotted it first. A faint, fast-moving speck in the night sky. They tracked it and realized something astonishing. Its path was hyperbolic, not orbiting the sun, but passing through. Nothing from our solar system moves like that. Oumuamua had come from the stars, and then came another twist. The object had already passed its closest point to the sun, weeks before we found it. That meant we couldn't send a probe, couldn't study it close up. We were late. All we had was its fading light. Scientists first thought it was a comet, but comets have tails, icy vapor trails that glow as they melt under sunlight. Oumuamua had no tail, no visible outgassing, no signs of ice. Still, it acted like something was pushing it. As it moved away from the sun, it accelerated. Not a lot, but enough to raise every eyebrow in the room. That shouldn't happen. In deep space, with no propulsion and nothing pulling you, you should slow down. Gravity should be the only force at play. But Oumuamua picked up speed, and no one could say why. Some proposed invisible gas jets, but none were detected. Others blamed light pressure, but that would require an object incredibly thin. And then there was its spin. Oumuamua wasn't rotating smoothly. It was tumbling, erratically, like a thrown stick, changing brightness as it twisted through space. It didn't behave like an asteroid, or a comet, or anything we've seen before. It was like a relic, a fragment, something left behind by something else. Astronomers couldn't get a clear photo of Oumuamua. It was just too small and too far. But they could watch how its brightness changed as it tumbled. What they saw was strange. The light didn't fade evenly. It flashed and dimmed dramatically, again and again. That meant one side of the object was large, and the other extremely narrow. From that data, they built a model and realized it had an extreme shape. It might have been a long cigar-like object, spinning end over end. Or maybe a thin, flat pancake, flipping like a coin. Either way, it was unlike anything we've tracked before. Most asteroids are lumpy, potato-shaped, and rotate steadily. This one spun erratically and was at least 10 times longer than it was wide. One researcher called it the most elongated natural object we've ever seen. Some speculated it could be a fragment, the shard of a shattered planet, ejected from another solar system. Others weren't so sure. The shape the spin, the silence, it all felt deliberate. And that's when people started asking, what if it wasn't a rock? Not everyone thought Oumuamua was natural. One voice stood out loudly. Avi Loeb, the head of Harvard's astronomy department, offered a different explanation. He believed Oumuamua might be an alien probe. Not science fiction, but science we just don't understand yet. Loeb pointed to the object's unexplained acceleration. He argued it could have been powered by solar radiation pressure, like a light sail, a super-thin, reflective surface, pushed gently by sunlight. That would explain the boost in speed, without gas or propulsion, and it would also explain the shape, flat, thin, designed to travel through space on purpose. His peers called it a stretch, but Loeb stood by it and still does. He said, "We should not assume we are alone until we have definitive proof otherwise." His theory sparked global headlines and controversy, because if he's right, then Oumuamua wasn't just a visitor. It was a message, or a scout, or something else entirely. Something we missed until it was too late. Of course, not everyone buys the alien theory. Many scientists believe Oumuamua's weirdness can be explained naturally. Some say it could be a fragment of nitrogen ice, like a chunk shaved off a distant Pluto-like planet. As sunlight hit it, the ice would slowly vaporize, giving it a small push, without leaving a visible tail. Others suggest it was a hydrogen iceberg, venting gas we simply couldn't detect, or even a shard of frozen carbon monoxide, drifting for millions of years before we saw it. A few even argue it could be debris from a cosmic collision, shaped and polished by eons in deep space. These ideas fit parts of the puzzle, but not all, and that's why Oumuamua still refuses to leave our imagination or our unanswered questions. By the time we spotted Oumuamua, it was already leaving. It had passed closest to the sun and was on its way out of the solar system. Every day, it grew fainter in our telescopes. We had no way to catch it, no probe fast enough, no mission prepared, just a silent visitor, slipping away before we even knew what it was. All we could do was watch as it tumbled into the distance, its strange shape glinting in the fading sunlight. With each rotation, the flashes grew weaker, until they vanished entirely into the black. In just a few months, it was too far for even our most powerful instruments to study. The mystery was leaving, and we were powerless to stop it. Astronomers calculated it would never return. Its path would carry it into interstellar space forever. And that's the part that stings the most, not knowing if it was just a shard of ancient rock or the first sign we are not alone. Oumuamua slipped into the dark between the stars, and the questions it left behind are still chasing it. Maybe Oumuamua was nothing more than a cosmic coincidence, a rare shard of ice and rock that just happened to wander through our neighborhood. Or maybe it was something else, a fragment from a world we'll never see, a relic from a civilization far older and far smarter than ours. The truth is, we don't know, and now we may never know, but the universe has a way of sending more mysteries our way. The next one could already be on its way here, moving fast, silent and unseen. This was Mystery Shack, where we chase the stories most people ignore, follow the clues others dismiss, and ask the questions no one wants to answer, because somewhere out there, the truth is waiting. Like, share, and subscribe, and stay ready for the next mystery.